Hello, friends, and welcome back to my channel, Advocate Pramod Bhardwaj Speaks. I'm Advocate Pramod Kumar Bhardwaj, and today we shall discuss the environmental laws in India. The environmental laws constitute a vital component of the country's environmental governance framework. Aimed at protecting and conserving the environment, these laws play a crucial role in balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability. First of all, let us discuss what is the meaning of environmental laws. Environmental laws encompass a collection of legal frameworks and regulations aimed at safeguarding the environment, preserving natural resources, and promoting sustainable development practices. These laws govern the interaction between the humans and the natural environment, aiming to mitigate the impact of activities such as industrial operation, urban development, agriculture, and waste disposal on the environment. After the United Nations Conference on Human Environment in Stockholm in 1972, a series of environmental laws were enacted in India to protect the environment and wildlife in a better way, and these laws form a vital component of the environmental governance in India. What is environmental governance? It refers to the systems and processes in place to manage environmental resources and protect the environment. It encompasses the laws, policies, initiatives, and institutions that guide human interactions with nature. Environmental laws in India form a comprehensive framework designed to safeguard the country's environment, natural resources, and ecological balance. Starting in the early 1970s, India has enacted several important environmental acts, policies, and rules to protect the environment and ecology comprehensively, including Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Environment Protection Act 1986, National Forest Policy 1988, Forest Rights Act 2006, Coastal Regulation Zone Notifications, Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2010 and 2017, Ozone Depleting Substances Rules 2000, and Biological Diversity Act 2002. Now, let's discuss these environmental laws in more detail. Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It is an environmental legislation enacted by the Government of India to protect the country's wildlife and their habitats. It provides a legal framework for the conservation of various species of flora and fauna and regulates activities that could harm them. Environment Protection Act 1986. It is an umbrella legislation under which various rules and notifications have been framed and issued to take care of the different dimensions of environmental challenges. Its major objectives include creation of authorities with adequate powers for environmental protection, coordination of the activities of the various regulatory agencies, regulation of discharge of environmental pollutants and handling of hazardous substances, speedy response in the events of accidents threatening the environment, and provision for deterring punishments. National Forest Policy 1988. The National Forest Policy refers to a set of guidelines and regulations established by the Indian government to manage and conserve the country's forest resources. It aims to ensure the sustainable use and preservation of forests, balancing ecological health and socio-economic development. The Forest Rights Act 2006, also known as the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Act 2006, is a landmark piece of legislation in India which seeks to address the historical injustice faced by forest dwelling communities by recognizing their rights over the land and resources they have been dependent on for generations. Major objectives of the Forest Rights Act 2006 include empowering and strengthening the local self-governance to address the livelihood security of the people, leading to poverty alleviation and pro-poor growth. To address the issues of conservation and management of natural resources and conservation governance in India, Coastal Regulation Zone Notifications or CRZ notifications aimed at preventing ecological damage and ensuring sustainable development areas along India's coast. These regulations aim to manage coastal and island zone activities in a way that protects coastal ecosystems, minimizes coastal erosion, and safeguards the livelihoods of coastal communities. The Ministry of Environment issued CRZ notifications 1991 under the Environment Protection Act 1986. Wetland Conservation and Management Rules 2010 and 2017 are rules enacted by the Government of India under the Environment Protection Act 1986 aimed at protecting and managing the country's wetlands in a sustainable manner. The Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2010 were the first comprehensive regulatory framework for wetlands in India. Later, in order to address the lacunae of the 2010 rules, the Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2017 were brought. The Ozone Depleting Substances Regulation and Control Rules 2000 are a set of rules in India that aim to combat the threat of ozone layer depletion due to ozone depleting substances. These rules were established under the Environment Protection Act 1986 to meet India's obligations under the Montreal Protocol. The Biological Diversity Act 2002 is an act of Parliament aiming to protect India's rich biodiversity and associated knowledge against their use by foreign individuals and organizations without sharing the benefits arising out of such use and to check bio-piracy. It primarily addresses issues of conservation, sustainable use of biological resources in the country, issues related to access to genetic resources and associated knowledge, and fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from the utilization of biological resources to the country and its people. This act aligns with the India's commitment to the Convention on Biological Diversity, which aims to protect the world's biodiversity while promoting its sustainable use. So, what are the challenges in environmental governance in India? Despite a robust legislative framework, the implementation of environmental laws in India faces several challenges like weak enforcement, weak coordination, lack of public awareness. Emerging challenges, climate change, pollution, and waste management pose new challenges to the enforcement of environmental laws in India. Data and monitoring, balancing development and conservation. India's rapid growth poses challenges in balancing development needs with environmental conservation. So, what is the way ahead for us? Well, to strengthen enforcement of environmental laws in India, the following suggested measures can be undertaken: strengthening the institutions, strengthening the capacity and coordination of the environmental institutions at both central and state levels is necessary for the proper implementation of environmental laws. Effective implementation, measures like better monitoring, increased penalties for non-compliance, and greater transparency can help improve the enforcement of environmental laws. Public participation, promoting public awareness and participation in environmental decision making can lead to more effective implementation of environmental laws. Sustainable development, integrating environmental considerations into development planning and adopting sustainable practices can help evolve environmental laws. Green technologies, promoting green technologies such as renewable energy sources can aid in better implementation of environmental laws. In conclusion, we can say that environmental laws in India provide a comprehensive framework for protecting natural resources and promoting sustainable development. These laws, evolved over a period of time, reflect the country's commitment to addressing its environmental challenges and advancing towards a more sustainable future, while challenges in the enforcement and country's commitment to addressing its environmental challenges and advancing towards a more sustainable future, while challenges in the enforcement and implementation of environmental laws in India persist. Ongoing efforts to strengthen legal mechanisms, enhance public participation, and leverage technology will be crucial for achieving long term environmental goals. Friends, I shall keep discussing similar legal topics on my channel. If you like this video, please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. If you have any legal issues and need legal advice, you can contact me through WhatsApp and email. Links are provided in the description below. Keep watching the videos for more such legal insights.